west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance of one West rising to prominence. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupons for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been this proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm growing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitters and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get through the fire. Around with me, and I had them niggas spin like a tire. But down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because UP. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know y'all tuning in looking at the time like, Cap, the class is supposed to start at 6 p.m. It's well past that time. We was having some technical difficulties. I was going to clip the class, but then I looked in my records and realized that I've been teaching in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge online classes for about 13 years, and I do not have one recording of me teaching New Year's Eve breakdown that I could have posted. Sometimes if I'm under the weather or having some technical issues or things going on, I'm not able to physically sit here and teach a class, I will play repeats. I'll play classes, from months ago, a year ago, a couple years ago, right? And as I went through my records looking for something to play for tonight, I could not find New Year's class, right? Now, I feel like I know I've taught a New Year's Eve breakdown. I know I put out videos about New Year's Eve and the worship of the god Janus, but a whole class is just not in the records at all. I got this app on my phone where I record all my Bible breakdowns. I don't record them, but I store the breakdowns. I got the topic, all the scriptures that go into it, and I save it in a file on my Bible app. I went into my Bible app and it has me recording breakdowns all the way back to 2016. And all the dates that I stored those recordings, the date that I stored those breakdowns, I go all the way back to 2016. There's not one New Year's breakdown on there, which means I haven't sat in before a camera in class and taught a New Year's breakdown. So I said, even though I know I'm way past the time and brothers and sisters probably didn't give up on it, I'm going to go live and I'm going to give a New Year's Eve breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's going to be the topic of tonight's class. Of course, you brothers and sisters tuning in, if you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee and surrounding areas, get them in contact with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2025, going into 26, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on this earth. So what we like to do with these classes is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible, to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has put inside of this book, so that we can come back to being the people that he called us to be, and to reclaim our righteous place on the earth as kings, priests, and princesses and daughters of Zion. So what I'd like to do is start these classes off with questions. If anybody has any questions online, you can type them in. If anybody has any questions physically in the room, you raise your hand. I'll call on you. You can ask your question, all right? I put in the chat, I put the link to join into the class. If there's any officers out there that would like to read, or troopers that want to read the scriptures as I pull them, you can join in. Any sisters want to join in, the link is right there, all right? So this class is not going to be very long since I'm getting started, late. But I did want to give a comprehensive breakdown concerning New Year's Eve and the worshiping of the god Janus. Everybody understands? I know a lot of times being in America, so much of the things that we do is just tied to tradition. It's tied to, that's what we did when I was growing up, or that's what I did when I was in my mama's house, or my grandparents used to do this thing. And so a lot of the things that we are tied into traditionally, we just do it because it's what we used to do. But when you go into the history of things and you actually study the origins of stuff, you can find out that everything in this oppressive society, everything that we're taught, everything that becomes tradition, everything that's ingrained in us is a part of some worship of a false god. This goes all the way to being in elementary school when they made you do the Pledge of Allegiance. Right? The Pledge of Allegiance seemed like a small thing. That Pledge of Allegiance is an old tradition tied to the worship of some devil god. You understand? Christmas, December 25th, tied to the worship of some devil god. You know what I mean? December 31st and January 1st, tied to the worship of some devil god. Valentine's Day, which is coming up in a couple months, tied to the worship of some devil god. The name of the month January, the name of the month February, the name of the month March, all of it's tied to devil gods. The days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, names of devil gods. So even the smallest, simplest things that seem like they just, it's not a big deal. It's not no major thing. To our oppressor, it means everything. You understand? And partying on December 31st into January 1st is absolutely a tradition and a ritual that is involved in the worship of a false god. And we're going to get into it today. All right. The first scripture we're going to go to in the Bible is in the book of Exodus. All right. Let's get Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. All right. Exodus 20 and 3, of course, is the first commandment that was given to Moses for the children of Israel to begin to understand what it meant to obey God. You understand? And Exodus chapter 20, verse 3 is simple. It says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." The Most High is our power. He is the power of Israel. He is the God that delivered us out of the house of bondage in Egypt. And he was very serious about us being his people and taking the love that we meant to have for him and giving it to someone else, giving it to other gods. And the Bible is one of those, the rule of the Bible, or the rule of the covenant that the Lord established with the children of Israel, is ignorance of the law does not excuse you from it. You understand? And there's a lot of our people today who do not know what it is that they are celebrating under, what they are partaking in, partying on December 31st into January 1st, but it does not excuse them from the consequences of worshiping a false god. That is why on nights like January 31st, when brothers and sisters go out to party and drink, in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community, We know that at midnight on January 1st, gunfire rings out. Bullets is, you're going right now. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, and we hear gunshots already. You understand? And what ultimately results in a lot of the drunken partying that happens on this night is brothers and sisters getting altercations and people lose their lives. Some lose their life at the party. Some lose their life on the drive home. Some lose their life in an altercation where those bullets get ringing out. Some lose their life just being out, being outside while those guns are getting shot in the air. You don't know where those bullets are going to fall. You understand? And so there are consequences for partaking in the things that have to do with the worship of other gods, and it is prohibited by the Most High in the Bible. He said that we should have no other gods before him. Everybody understands. So let's go ahead and drop that. All right, let's get let's get Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. Get the book of Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. It says, there is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Everybody understands? There is a way that seems right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. It may seem right to go out and party on December 31st. Man, it's the start of a new year. 2025 was rough on a lot of people. It was hard. And, in the midst of the winter, seasonal depression can kick in and people become, they get tired of being stuck in the house and not going nowhere. And the holidays come around and you could not be with your family and be missing the people you love. Hell, it's a ton of sisters out there single around the holidays. They miserable as hell. Go on the internet, go on Instagram and Facebook, go on Threads, which is a new app they got out there. And these sisters are absolutely going through it in the middle of the winter because they ain't got nobody to hold them at night. Because they don't have nobody to take to the, the Christmas dinner or to the ugly sweater party. And New Year's come around and they want to get drunk and want to feel special. They want to feel good. You understand? And New Year's is the perfect excuse to go out there and, not be alone in the dead of the winter. There's a way that seems right, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. You understand? With this New Year's celebration, there's all types of traditions that come with this holiday, all types of superstitions. You understand? I remember last year there were women saying that they was going to eat grapes and sit under the table with red panties on. That was going to get them a man. They was going to get some grapes and sit under the table at midnight in red drawers, and that was going to bring them a man in the new year. You understand? I know growing up on December 31st, grandma and them was cooking black-eyed peas and collard greens. I think the black-eyed peas represented, I forget what that represented, but I know the collard greens was about money. You understand? I know in a lot of our families, you had to clean up good on December 31st. You can't go into the new year with no dirt on you, no dirt in the house, no dirt on you. You had to get a good cleaning. You understand? I remember another one was, whatever you're doing on the strike of midnight, December 31st, that's what the rest of your year was going to be like. I remember when I got old enough to be able to go out on New Year's, I had to be with a woman. I had to be with some girl on New Year's Eve because I wanted the rest of my year to be like that. I wanted to be with some woman for the rest of the year. So if you want to start the year off right, you got to make sure you're doing it right at midnight. You understand? All of these things are tied into the worship of the God of New Year's. And and again, a lot of the things that we do in the celebration of these holidays, we do it out of tradition, but not understanding and knowing that these traditions are the things that destroy us. These traditions are the things that separate us from the Most High our God, and displeases Him. And it's why these things end up and result in us losing our lives. You understand? Let's get Mark the 7th chapter. We'll get Christ speaking about these traditions and how we put these traditions before the word of the Most High. We put these traditions before us serving the Lord. All right. So, Lucky, let's get off of Proverbs 14 and 12. Mark chapter 7, I want to say verse 6 off the top of my head. Let's see if we still got it. Mark chapter 7, verse 6. All right, boom. Let's get it. Mark 7 and 6. All right. All right, give me that. Mark 7 6. All right. All right, boom. All right, these are the words of Jesus Christ in the New Testament concerning the celebration of New Year's and all of these holidays that our oppressor promotes to us. All right. Again, some of these things is just part of tradition, man. When my grandmama did it, mama did it. Now I'm grown and I got my kids and I want them to have the things that I had in my childhood. So I'm gonna do the Christmas and I'm gonna do the New Year's. I'm not worshiping no God. I'm just doing the things that my parents taught me to do. I'm just, keeping the traditions alive. Those traditions are the reason why we're destroyed. You understand? Those traditions are the reason why we are separated from our God, because He does not want us to be partaking in any of these things. Everybody understands. All right, so here we go. This is Mark chapter 7. We're going to go to verse 6. It says, He answered and said unto them, What has Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites? As it is written, This people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. That is what we have been given in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. We have been taught the doctrines, we've been taught for commandments, the doctrines of men. The keeping of Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, they are almost, you have to do it in the Black community. Why? Why do you have to do it? Is it because it's a law written somewhere that you have to do these things? No, because it's kept in our family. It's tradition. You don't want to go against your grandparents. You don't want to go against your mother. You don't want to have an argument with your family about the white man being the devil and the worship of these false gods. So a lot of things we just go along with it. I had a conversation with a brother today. You're saying brother that's in the world, and this brother in the world told me that Christmas was hard on him this year, man. He got fired a couple months ago, and he pulled a little bit of money off for his 401k. But he was like, man, I just went ahead and sent my baby mama $1,000, man. He was like, I talked to my daughter on Christmas morning, man. She sounded like she was sad, like she didn't have a good Christmas. And I could not imagine, times being tight and penny pinching. You take $1,000 and give it to your baby mama, and then your child still be unhappy. And it's unfortunate that brothers like that are under the pressure to show up and spend money and wait. Now this daughter, like maybe 7 years old. Imagine that you drop a stack on a 7-year-old, and the kid mad at you because of they wasn't satisfied. It wasn't good enough for them. That's a shame. And why? Because we're taught to keep these traditions as though they are commandments of God. If you do not show up for Christmas, you're a horrible, evil nigga. Right now, you got a woman, you ain't taking her out. Hell, shit. Salaki. I remember I was younger than true, man. I got with a woman, and I spent the weekend with her of a New Year's. Her mom and them celebrated that New Year's. I did not. I'm in her house in the basement. Mama got the hat and the goofy glasses and the damn blowing whistle. And she got the kids up there. They all having fun and watching the ball drop. I'm down in the basement playing the video game. That woman mama got mad at me. And that night I drank some drink. I drink every night. Not Salaki. I had some drinks that night. It was the weekend. That next morning, her mama, we got up, man. She was, whole gallon of Hennessy was gone. And I know when I went downstairs about 10 o'clock that night, there was about half a bottle left and what no other adults drinking but the mama. I got up that next morning, went up there to the kitchen and saw that bottle was empty. I was like, God damn. Well, lo and behold, we get into it that morning. I got stabbed. This was my mother stabbed me. Next day, angrily drunk off of a New Year's celebration and mad because I didn't participate in the yelling and arguing before she stabbed me. She brought up how I came over and didn't want to partake in New Year's and trying to change her family and this and that. I did not know she felt this way, but the demon of me not celebrating New Year's got me stabbed that year. You understand? And it's because to the people who partake in these things, it's like you break this tradition, it's like you breaking the laws of God. Sister Kapadas, I'm about to bring you on the camera. I want you to be able to, your comments you put in the chat, I want you to be able to bring it out for the people, all right? So I'm gonna add the sister on here. Shalom, Lord Christ, sis.
Shalom, sir. How was your shot?
Yeah, how Shema Bashim Yahushua. Go ahead and tell me about these folks at your slavery with their New Year's tradition.
Man, Cap, they've been buying black eyed peas, they've been buying greens, they've been buying anything green. And then there's one old lady who worked at Kroger. So the black eyed peas supposed to be for look. And the greens are, or whatever, some green, you got to eat something green to keep some money in your pocket. So the lady told me last night, she was like, she worked there. Her name is Pearl. And she was like, baby, make sure you eat, your black eyed peas and some green. I was like, why? And she was like, so you can, for look, baby, so you can have money in your pocket. I said, I don't need that. I don't need that, Miss B. I don't need that. I mean, but you're going to be broke. I said, no, I'm not. She was like, why you say that? I said, because I work all year, Miss Pearl. I'm not going to be broke. That's why I'm going to have money. She was like, oh. And she just pimped off.
Yeah.
He's walked off. Yeah. But yeah, that's what they've been buying all week, pretty much. Black eyed peas and just something green.
See, and another thing that we don't recognize, see what happens with us not understanding our oppressor and understanding the gods that's associated with these holidays. All of these holidays equal money in the white man's pocket. Think about it. There's not one holiday that's celebrated in America that don't require you to go buy something. For Christmas, you got to go buy for them kids and get them kids what they supposed to get, right? Thanksgiving, you got to go get that turkey and that cranberry and that stuff, and you got all of those harvest foods that nobody ever eats on a regular. You go eat them on Thanksgiving. You get go get pumpkins and make pumpkin pie. Where the pumpkin pie in July? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? Them pumpkin farmers, they're going to make their money on Thanksgiving because that's what's promoted. New Year's Eve, think of all of the bars. And think about it. Normally in the middle of the winter, ain't nobody going to no party. Ain't nobody at no club or no bar. Them bars got to get some money, something to show for in the stay open during the wintertime. Well, they gave them January 1st. These bartenders and these liquor stores and these damn, bars and restaurants going to make more money to last them till the springtime on December 31st. You understand? And forget the grocery store. You go in the grocery store, they getting all the, think about it. Name some of the green stuff that they was buying, sis, because it ain't just the collard greens, apparently. I'm thinking it's just collard greens and black eyed peas. Black eyed peas don't get bought no time throughout the year. But around New Year's, it's the black eyed peas sellout. They stock them shelves, and them black eyed peas farmers make their money for this holiday. And that's the way our oppressor play us. But what's some of the other green stuff they buying?
So like you said, they was buying a lot of spinach. They were buying like kale. They were buying, Issachar was actually buying, it's called tomatoes, something like that. It looked like a tomato, but they green. It was the first time I saw that. They were buying a lot of limes. I don't know. They were just buying a lot of green stuff this week. Well, up until this week. Mm-hmm.
And again, that comes from us keeping these traditions of our oppressors. I'm gonna go ahead and get back to these scriptures. I'm gonna put you back in. I'm gonna keep you on, but I'm gonna put you back on the small screen. All right, sis. All right. So we continuing on in Mark chapter 7. We're in Mark chapter 7. Now we're in verse 8. It says, "For laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do." You understand? Keeping this New Year's is like the traditions of men. You know what I'm saying? Keeping Christmas is the traditions of men. A lot of you brothers out there got you a woman in the world, you better show up for Valentine's Day behind the traditions of men. You understand? And these things go against the Most High, and they weaken our spirit, whether we know it or don't know it. Everybody understands? Sister Shalma said it's a holiday almost every month. There's no rest for their pockets. She said her grandmother used to cook turnip greens. You understand? So again, and eating anything green, that's all part of that tradition that's tied into this New Year's. All right. Here's Mark chapter 7, verse 9. Christ said, and he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition. What commandment of God are we rejecting when you celebrate New Year's? You're rejecting the commandment of not having no other gods before the Most High. You're rejecting the commandment that there should be no other gods before him. You understand? You going and joining in the worship of these other gods, and you are dismissing the Most High. You understand? And it is a shameful, horrible thing for us to do, being the people of the Lord, depending on the Most High the way that we do, to dismiss him for the worship of our oppressor's God. It's got to be infuriating. It's got to be something that is just completely disrespectful to the Lord. And when you learn the truth, man, you live your life in a way where everything you do is pleasing to the Most High. Everybody understands. Sister Anaya said, and the stores are packed. She just left from the grocery shopping, and it's ridiculous how they pack out the stores over a stupid holiday. Cut. You understand? You got to understand, this oppressor knows how to manipulate the people. They know how to have their way with the people whenever they get good and ready. And that is what these holidays are for. Like Shawba said, you look at the calendar, every month there's a holiday. Why? Because the oppressor knows how to take advantage of the people. And the oppressor knows people need a release every 3 or 4 weeks. So you need a good release. And these holidays are the perfect excuse for you to have a release. You understand? And that's what these holidays are all for, and they all about. So how is New Year's the worship of a false god? How is New Year's something that is disrespectful to the Most High? Let me give you the history on the worship of December 31st. You understand? Let me give you some evidence to show you that this is something that is evil against the Lord. All right. See, I don't need too much. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share a video, and we're gonna watch this about the worship of the god Janus. Everybody understands. So let's go ahead and pull this one up. I'm gonna play it, and we're gonna put it up on the screen. And boom, there we go. All right. So like, I'm gonna drop you off for a second, all right? No sweat, no sweat. I'm gonna do side by side. Do this side by side. Here we go. This is it right here.
Janus is a major deity in Roman mythology. He is often depicted as having 2 faces, each pointing in opposite directions. Janus stares into both the future and the past, symbolizing his mastery over beginnings and endings. He is the son of the god Phoebus Apollo. Some versions say that Janus was born in the Greek region of Thessaly, but left for Latium, which is in present-day Italy. He was welcomed there by the mythical king Camese, with whom he shared power. Janus founded several cities, and according to some Roman myths, he welcomed the god Saturn after Jupiter had banished him from Greece. Saturn was the equivalent of the Titan Kronos in Greek mythology, and as a way of expressing his gratitude for being welcomed, the old god initiated the Golden Age of Man. During this period, people lived in a world of enormous happiness and abundance. Kronos also blessed Janus, endowing him with the ability to know the past and the future. Janus was the deity in charge of teaching men how to use boats and introduced the use of coins. After his existence among men ended, Janus was divinized. As a god, he became responsible for protecting doors and gates. Janus was depicted with 2 faces and a key in his hands. When opening a door, the god starts a new cycle, which can be a new harvest cycle or the passage from childhood to adulthood. He is also connected to the beginning and end of wars. During the Roman Sabine conflict, the god prevented the Sabines from attacking Rome's armies by generating a fountain of boiling water to block the Sabines' path. The Romans repaid his protection by building several temples in his honor. The main one was shut during times of peace and only opened in times of war. Janus had a prominent position in Roman religious ceremonies. He was summoned at the beginning of each ritual, establishing a connection between the mortal and the divine. The Romans trusted that Janus's blessings were essential to secure a positive outcome in any new endeavor, be it agricultural, personal, or military. As a god related to transitions and the beginning of new cycles, the Romans named the first month of the year in honor of the god Janus. The month of January is the time when people try to put their end-of-year resolutions into practice and start a new prosperous cycle with the blessing of the god Janus.
There you have it right there. That is your New Year's worship. You understand? The worship of Janus is what is being celebrated on December 31st. Again, Janus was the god of the opening and closing of doors in Roman mythology. He's the god of looking into the past and looking into the future, and all of the things associated with the worship of this god is what makes up your New Year's traditions. All of your traditions of New Year's. Everybody talking about, 2025 is in the past. You know what I'm saying? 2026, new year, new me. That's worshiping Janus. You understand? New Year's resolutions. You know what? In 2026, I'm not allowing this. I'm not doing that. That's worshiping the god Janus. Looking back and saying 2025 was a bad year, but 26 is going to be my year. That's worshiping the god Janus. Everybody understands. All of these things that we do, while we think it's just keeping tradition, is actually going against the Lord and worshiping false gods. You understand? And the Most High, again, it says a way that seems right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. Yeah, and we provoke the Most High to anger, worshiping these gods that are not real, worshiping these gods that are false. You understand? Let me get see something. Let's get Isaiah chapter 65, verse 3. Matter of fact, we're going to get Isaiah 63, and we're going to start at verse 1. All right. This is the Lord speaking about us with these false gods and putting things before him that should not be. All right. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 1. Go ahead and read it. Boom, boom. All right, bear with me. I got fathers. I'm gonna bring you on in a second to ask that question. All right. So this is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 1. It says, I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me unto a nation that was not called by my name. This is the Most High talking to us today. We came into the truth and we woke up in a time when we wasn't seeking for the Lord. We wasn't looking for him. Many of us grew up not knowing that there was anything wrong with the life that we were living. Not knowing that there was anything wrong with celebrating New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving. We weren't born knowing that we were the children of Israel. We weren't born knowing that there was a Most High with these laws and statutes that we weren't following, but yet it's still, he called us and he woke us up. Verse 2, I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts. The Lord said he reached his hands out to a nation that was not thinking about him. All we celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, not searching for the Most High, not seeing all the good he's doing for us. Think of people who you know that are completely happy in their lives and in their relationship with God. There's many people who think that God is with them and God is on their side, and you can't tell them that he's not. because they, in their mind, their life is good. They got a good job. They paying their bills. There's a ton of sisters ain't got no man, but they can call a cat to take them to get something to eat. They can call some cat to go take them to get high. They can call some cat to take them to buy, some shoes or some clothes, and they mind they got it made. You can't tell her she's a whore. You can't tell her the men are using her for sex. She's a prostitute. There's brothers out here. They same thing. He got a good little job. He paying his money, but he got 2 baby mamas, and he ain't there for his kids like he's supposed to be. But he do his little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? He did when he able to be, and he got him a couple little bras he could call, and he might take them and get them something to eat and smoke with them and chill. And he could have sex with them, but they ain't got no love for him. They not there for him. The way a woman. They ain't cooking him no meals. They ain't washing his clothes. He just a trick and a whoremonger, but you can't tell him that he living a good life. We are people that are in our ignorance think that we are living a good life when the entire time we are walking in a way that is rebellious and goes against God. You understand? Verse 3, a people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burns incense upon altars of brick. That's partying on New Year's Eve. That's smoking weed and getting high. That's getting drunk till you pass out. You understand? That's popping. So much drugs are going to be abused tonight in the name of the worship of Janus, in the name of trying to feel good. The Most High said, man, we provoke him to anger continually with these things. New Year's Eve is all about the worship of a god, Janus, and it's a spit in the face of the Most High power, who is real and who is with you and watching over you and protecting you and trying to get you to wake up to the reality of the evil that you're living in. But too many of us are not able to wake up because we're blinded by the lies of our oppressor. We're blinded by these holidays and these traditions, and we're blinded by the things that make our flesh feel good. You understand? Let me drop that. Sister Kapatazar, you said you had a question. Let me go ahead and bring you back on the screen. All right. Hold on. Bear with me. All right. There you go. All right. Go ahead.
Lucky sir, before I ask that question, in the first verse where it says, I'm sought of them that ask not for me. And I know it says a nation. Is this the proof that like the other people or the other nations who like do, I'm not gonna say like do look for him or do like the Jews, I'll say that. Is that proof that this is not them or they're not these people?
No.
Is that the proof? Okay.
No. Okay. When you understand, okay, when you ask that question, what makes you say there are people that are looking for the Most High?
Because it's people, like I said, the first people that come to mind are the Jews, and then there are Africans who say that like they worship the Lord, and not like he said to do, but
let me ask you this. Let's talk about the Jews, the so-called the white Jews, right? Or Jewish people. What makes you say Jewish people are seeking after God?
because like they claim our identity as their own by reading the script.
Okay, how is claiming our identity them seeking after God?
It's like they're like in a sense where they want to be okay because they know that since salvation is for us, I guess that's something that they want, so they're gonna claim our identity as their own. I guess that's what I would say, like how they seeking after the Lord. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, Salaki.
You're explaining it right, but I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you unpack in your mind what you think about these other people. You think in your mind they're claiming our identity because they're trying to draw closer to God. They want to be God's people. They want to get God's salvation, right? That is not at all why they claim our identity.
Okay.
Seeking after God is someone trying to find, what do I have to do for my life to be better? What can I do to make God happy, to please God? That's seeking after God. And the only way a person in their life ever seeks after God is if they hit rock bottom and are forced to face the reality that I'm living wrong and I don't know what I'm doing and I need help finding my way. These other nations never have that in their lives ever. They never hit a point in their life where they say, I've got to find God and figure out what I'm doing wrong so that I can do right. The so-called Jewish man never in his life has ever had a crisis of conscience, and they've never ever sought to do what God said to do, which is why they've been claiming to be us for the last 700 years, and their culture and their society is not at all a reflection of what the Bible says. Them people calling themselves Jewish are not doing what the Bible said to do. None of their traditions, none of their holidays, none of their worships has anything to do with the Bible. Their belief system and the laws they follow come out of another book called the Talmud, which is a book that rejects the Bible, rejects the laws of the Bible, and they follow a whole nother set of rules. Those people are not seeking God at all. They took our identity because it put them in a position to take advantage of other nations on the earth. I've been reading this book lately, right? I'll show y'all this book. I've been reading this book right here, which is called Who is Esau? Edom, written by this man named Charles Wiseman. Right now, I haven't looked up Charles Wiseman. I haven't looked at other books that he's written. But in this book, Who is Esau? Edom, he does a whole full breakdown of how the Jewish man is Esau. And everything about their culture and their way of life and the Talmud they follow, it fulfills the prophecies of Esau and the man that God hated in the Bible. You understand? And he talk about all the evil that these Jewish people do. And these Jewish people know that the way that they're living and the things they're doing have nothing to do with the God of the Bible. These other nations, these heathens, these Africans and East Indians and these Chinese, they have gods that they worship and they love their gods and their gods love them. I talked a few weeks ago about how when you go to the Chinese restaurant, they got that cat with that little arm going forward and back. That's their God. That's what they turn to when things ain't working out right. Them East Indians, go to a 7-Eleven or go to the gas station and look in the gas stations if you can. They got some little God that they worship that's in there and make sure that they stay safe at night. They have their gods they turn to. And when their lives are going bad, they don't say, damn, they don't look to the God in heaven. The Somalians didn't look to the God in heaven to help them out of their condition. They looked for the God of the white man's money to help them scam and get billions of dollars to feed themselves and to get rich in the poor black communities up there in Minnesota. The white man in America, when things go bad for them, they don't turn to God. They look for, they go to the rehab clinic to get help. They go to therapy and get healed. They don't turn to the Most High. We the only people that when we hit rock bottom, we go search for God. Try to get close to the Lord, go to church and clean ourselves up. But even in that, we don't. Church does an amazing job of making us be okay in our evil, making us be okay in our sin. You go to church, you feel good for being better than you were yesterday. When yesterday you was on crack and you was selling your vagina on whatever that street is in Memphis where they sell vagina. You come in there on Sunday and you cleaned up. They make you feel good and wonderful. You 2 days from selling vagina on the strip. And it's like, I'm better than I was yesterday, so I'm okay. No, you're not. No, you're not. The God of the Bible requires perfection. He requires us to get completely clean. And guess what? The only way you're going to get completely clean is if you come into class and you're learning and you're getting counsel and you're actually facing your demons. But the holidays and these things that are taught to us that we're celebrated, in Christianity and in these religions of our oppressor, they keep us from pleasing the Most High. You understand? But for your sake, sis, I don't want you to think that it's important that we understand that nobody is seeking the Most High. These other nations are not seeking God. It's not like, oh man, they can't get delivered because they not God's people. No, they can't get delivered because they would not give a damn about serving God, which is why he chose us. We the only people that have a capacity to give a damn. All these other nations would do what they already have done, which was find some rock to worship, some tree to worship, some statue to worship, and that's how they live their lives. All right. Now, what was your question?
Oh, sir, appreciate it.
What was your question about the whole wanting to be better and trying to better yourself? Ask that question.
Concert. So like, not specifically just me, but like, is it a difference between like goal setting and then like the New Year's resolution? Not so like goal setting for the next year, like whether you do that in November or in December, like you start something and then like, okay, well next year I'm gonna do this, this, and this to work towards my goal. And like I said, not necessarily just for a New Year's resolution, but is that a difference, or like when it comes closer to this time, it's the same as like a New Year's resolution?
All right. So here's the reality. The reality is we should be constantly trying to improve ourselves every day. We should always be planning to do better and to be better and to find new things to conquer and to overcome. So self-improvement is not something that happens once a year. Now, here's what the part of the tradition that we've gotten caught up in. A lot of us don't realize that, let's say there was not a New Year's celebration, right? In the middle of the dead of winter, when everything slows down and when everything stops and when everything is not really moving, that is a time for you to be alone, for you to be in the house more, and it's time for you to reflect on your life. I've talked before about seasonal depression. A lot of people suffer from seasonal depression. The winter time is a depressing time period because of how little is actually going on. The sun goes down at 5 o'clock. You in the house from 5 till 11 when you go to sleep. When normally any other time of the year, you're not in the house till 8. You're not in the house till 9. So guess what? You're busier. You're more preoccupied. You have less time to sit around and think. The winter time, you're sitting at home. You're not doing nothing. You don't feel like going outside. It's cold. It's sad. You're alone more. You're with your thoughts more. And that is when you become reflective. That is when you think about your life and how did I get here? And am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And what more could I be doing? That is part of this time of year. The white man created New Year's to help people propel themselves out of that depression, to push you to have fun and have a good time. And it's going to be all right. And you're going to get it. It's going to be better. And the whole planning in the middle of the winter to be better, that comes from the white man took that and added it to New Year's. But that's something that people do naturally, normally, because you're just doing less in the middle of the winter. Now, another reality about this time, or about our oppressor, is for business sake, the winter is a time where there's not a lot of business going on. So there's not a lot of transactions, not a lot of money being made. Think about a farmer. A farmer in the middle of the winter is not really selling anything because nothing's growing, right? The farmer sold all his crops in the harvest festival. At the end of the fall is when the farmer sold all his goods in the market. Everybody is sitting at home with what they purchased in the fall, weathering the storm of the wintertime. So in the middle of the winter is when businesses and shops and stores tally up how much money they made for the whole year. And what happens in the springtime? When the spring comes, that's when they begin to start farming again. And that's when they go to pay. After that first harvest in the spring is when all the businesses making money. And that's when tax time comes. So for the white man, the new year being December 31st and January 1st, starting the new year, it's all about their money system. Whatever money you made, we're going to stop counting it January 31st. That way you can prepare to look at your finances and your records and make sure you got the money that's for the taxes in April. So naturally, people dealing with money, you're inclined to look at your money right now and look forward to the spring when you get them tax returns to be able to start spending money again. think about people who have like vision boards and things like that. The whole plan for the new year is because right now is the time that you start to plan stuff. It's a subconscious thing. It's not even if you're not somebody that participates in New Year's. Right now, what are we planning for? What are we all dealing with our money right now for? What's the big thing that's looming over all of our heads financially?
Passover.
Passover. You got to plan for Passover. When? Do you plan for Passover a week before? 2 weeks before? You plan for Passover 4 months ahead. In the middle of the dead of winter, you counting your coins and setting your money aside because in the springtime, we got to go vacation. Soon as it's not winter no more, we got to go do something to celebrate being warm again. That's the Passover. So even if there was no New Year's, guess what? We would still be planning for what's to come. We would still be looking at the year ahead and saying, okay, now we know Passover's coming up, right? So I got to save money for that. I put $200 aside every check for the next 20 weeks. I'll have Passover. Some of us is planning for the summer cookouts. Guess what? You got to start planning when? Right now. How many cookouts am I going to be able to make this year? I got to see. Can I make the first one? We know the first one going to be June sometime. Can I make I might not be able to make that one because April and then June, that's too close. Let's see if I can stack some other money. Maybe I'll make it to July. I could go to the cookout in July. And then maybe I'll make the one in September. That planning happens now. It's natural. It's normal. That's not associated with the worship of any God. But the white man, knowing that people would be doing that, made it a part of the worship of this God. Do you understand?
Sir, I understand. I appreciate it.
So, us planning and looking ahead and trying to, what our money going to look like, that's a normal, natural thing. But the white man wanted to make it, I better eat these black-eyed peas and these greens. You better go. There's a lot of again. It's cold, middle of the winter. These hoes is not at the club. Niggas are not at the club picking hoes up. But these women are lonely because they did not get chose in they didn't get chosen in August. They didn't get chosen in September. They didn't get chosen in October. By November, it's dead. They went out the week before Thanksgiving. If you didn't have you a nigga, you was dead for the winter. And by right now, them cats are scratching and whining and meowing. And there's no dog with a bone to come through. So guess what? Before they go insane, the white man give them a day to go find you a bone. And that's what New Year's Eve is all about. Again, this cat in the word, I was with him earlier. I'm trying to help him learn how to work computers. He was like, yeah, man, we going down bill tonight. You popping out? Hell no, I'm not. Because it is you down there and a bunch of nasty whores down there. And I get it. It's warm outside right now. It is a very nasty New Year's tonight. But these people have to, they have to feel something. Because in the middle of the winter, you feel nothing, and nobody likes that. Everybody understands. What we have to do is stop allowing, I'm going to take you off the screen again, sis. What we have to stop doing is we have to stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated by our oppressor. We have to look realistically at our lives and and what we are experiencing and understand that the only way out of the things that we are going through is to obey the Most High. But to accept and to celebrate and partake in these things of our oppressor, they only separate us further from the Most High and put a division between us and our God. Everybody understands. Hold on. Oh, let's get on. Let's see. All right. Let's get Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. All right, this is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Everybody understands. Many of our people are destroyed, man, after the vain deceits and the philosophies of our oppressors. You understand? Okay. Sister Shawba had a question. She says, Salaki, sir, what about the people having vision board parties for planning for the new year? Is that something tied to the worship? Yes. Vision board parties are absolutely tied to planning. Okay. Okay. Let me say this. A vision board party is like, okay. Okay. A vision board party for the new year, yes, is tied to these worships. Is there something wrong with making a vision board? Is there something wrong with planning to improve yourself or setting goals and wanting to accomplish them? No, there's nothing wrong with that. And a vision board is a good visual way for you to get things out of your mind and get them written down, be able to see them and mentally focus yourself in on the goals that you have and you set. You can do that in November. You can do that December 15th. You can do that January 20th, meaning you can do it anytime. Don't do it December 31st. Don't do it January 1st, if I'm making sense. It's like eating turkey for Thanksgiving. You can eat turkey anytime. Turkey is not unlawful. Don't eat turkey on Thanksgiving. You understand? You can do a vision board for the next year. Why does your vision board got to be done in the middle of the winter? Why does your vision board got to be done on December 30th, December 31st? Do your vision. Why don't you do your vision board around the time of year when you really start making money, which is around the time of the Passover? Why not have your vision board be done in February so you can think about it? All of us, I don't care what type of job you do, you're going to see more money in the months of April, May, June, and July than you are at any other time. Unless you work a job like I used to slave for FedEx, right? So our peak season was November, December. Really October, November, December was the time we made the most money because that's when we getting all the overtime hours, right? But that's because that type of work is around those holidays for white people. But most other jobs, if you work a day job, the most money you're going to be making is during the months of March, April, May, June, July. Really, March, April, May is when you're making most money. If you work construction, that's when they got all the overtime hours. If you working at a nail salon, that's when everybody coming to get their nails done. If you do hair, you understand? If you if you a sister that does a service, like right now, it's sisters that make Kapata's you one. Kapata's I'm gonna bring you back on the screen. Sister making garments, right? Well, guess what? This time of year is when she's gonna start making her money. She's making her money for the Passover. You understand? There's sisters that go like my rib shower bar gonna go sell bracelets at the Passover. She gonna make her money at the Passover week. There's tons of sisters making body butters and oils and different things. The Passover is the time we're gonna make that money. And you should plan for it now. So there's not nothing wrong with having a vision board, but you want to make sure that your vision board is not surrounding the God of New Year's. Everybody understands. Nothing wrong with planning. Come on with it.
So like you said, it was it's not a quote, but it was a saying that I found online. This was years ago, and it kind of helped me start my goal setting. And every 6 to 8 months, I look back on it. It said, "Dear me, in 6 to 8 months, watch how I make you proud." And so every 6 to 8 months, that's in my list. It's in my notes. Like I have goals. That's why I was asking you, like in general. Yeah. Every 6 to 8 months, I go back and look at it and I tweak it. And I'm like, okay, I did that, but I can be more specific now that I've attained that goal. I can be more specific. Like it's levels. Like I want to go back to school for this. Okay, now I went back to school for this. So in another 6 to 8 months, where should I be? Should I be getting a certification in this? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? That I would. So you right, sir, when you say it's not just like you said, self-improvement is not just one time a year.
No, it's something that we should be continually doing. And again, a good way for you to let something sink in is to write it down. It's to be able to visualize it, see it, whether it's a vision board or if you just have, notes, sticky notes, you write a note on, put it on your mirror, and or put it on the wall. You can ask my real when I had my other spot in my bedroom, I had sticky notes all over the wall with different ideas that I came up with. Those sticky notes on the wall helped me to remember, damn, I should be working on that. I could be adding more to that. I could be doing that. Even right now, I'm in a place in my life where writing things down is helpful and beneficial for me to stay focused. Because other than that, if it's in my head, that'll just be in my head. Everybody understands. I'm gonna bring you off Padazan, and Sister Anaya said something I wanted to address. She said she just found out that self-affirmations are possibly connected to spell work and rituals. Okay. Now with that, Anaya, what are those self-affirmations, right? What are the things that you are repeating to yourself and saying to yourself every day? Be careful with that, because some of those things can be connected to, worship and different gods, right? What you want to do is call and get some counsel. But let me tell you this, there is, just as humans, as spiritual beings in these physical bodies, there's nothing, affirmations are absolutely necessary. Meaning what? What you think is ultimately going to dictate how you act and the things that you do. You understand? And there are some affirmations that are necessary to keep you focused and to keep you grounded. One of the things that works for me, which is a form of an affirmation, is saying the Lord's Prayer every day. Right? When you say the Lord's Prayer every day to start the day, say the Lord's Prayer every night to end the night, it seals inside of you that my focus is on getting through today. You reflect on the day, and man, how was today? Might have been a bad day, but guess what? Did I have my daily bread? Did I forgive someone the way that I want the Lord to forgive me? Am I doing what needs to be done for the Lord's kingdom to be here on earth as it is in heaven? And when you say that Lord's Prayer every day, it keeps in the back of your mind that you're reaffirming your dedication to the Lord, reaffirming your standing with the Most High. And I can tell the difference in my life when I'm saying that Lord's Prayer every day and every night, and then when I'm not. You understand? So not all now again, we don't call the Lord's Prayer an affirmation, right? But it serves this. It's the same. Affirmation is made in the same vein of repeating something to yourself until it becomes real, till it becomes true. You stand in that mirror every day and you tell yourself that I'm special and I'm worthy and I shouldn't settle for less and I shouldn't allow myself to, be treated any kind of way. Then guess what? As a woman, you'll go out in this world and you won't you won't dress a way that's disrespectful to yourself. You won't meet men that'll use you like a piece of meat, have sex with you and throw you away, because you'll say to yourself, I'm better than that. I deserve more than that. You're not gonna allow yourself to just be used in any kind of way or played in any kind of way. Why? Because your esteem isn't so low that you need some man trying to have sex with you to validate you. You know that you're special and you're deserving of something because you tell it to yourself every day. That can be helpful and beneficial. It can be helpful and beneficial for brothers too. That's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under command of General Yohana is such a gem to men in this world, because the world every day is telling us that we ain't shit. This world every day is telling us that if you ain't getting no money, nigga, you ain't got nothing. Oh man, if you ain't got no hoes, man, you ain't got nothing. If you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, you ain't got nothing. There's a lot of brothers in this truth that need to be told that they are great. That need to be told that they're special. They need to be reminded that there's a reason that they are here alive and free. And there's brothers who they know who died and are in prison and who can't live a free life. It's absolutely empowering to be told that you are special and that you are great and that God chose you. It gives you something to live for. It gives you something to change your life around. It gives you a reason to be a good father, to be a husband, to not deal with a woman that's just going to use you like a piece of meat and throw you away. Hell, that's a horrible thing. There's some brothers out here that's not good for nothing else but go in that bedroom. And they know it too. And the easy way is to just take advantage of it. Hell, all she wanted some third leg anyway. I might as well get her to run that checkup, break some bread. That man knows all he got is third leg. And he going to use that third leg till she realizes he's a piece of shit and doesn't want to deal with him no more. There's men like that. They need to be taught that you don't get a woman that's just going to use you as a third leg. Get a woman that'll honor you. that'll be there by your side while you work on becoming more than the third leg. You understand? But guess what? That brother got to put some work in to make himself better as well. Hell, the woman that's looking for a man to serve and the man that is looking to be more than the third leg, guess what they both need? They both need the Lord. They both need to be taught how to be better, how to deserve more. You understand? And that's why they should come into the school and learn the truth. And then maybe they could court. Maybe they could get to know each other. Maybe they could take time to find value in one another beyond what they can just give to each other. And they can have a marriage that lasts forever, as opposed to a situation that is temporary and then wake up one day and realize, damn, we both played ourselves. Everybody understands. So there are affirmations can be good. You just want to make sure you get some counsel on which ones are acceptable and which ones are not, all right? But with that, these brothers and sisters out there in the world are celebrating something that many of them don't know what they're celebrating. But after tonight, we know what they're celebrating, which is why you should not partake in it at all. December 31st, January 1st is associated with the worship of the god Janus. That's where the month of January comes from. Janus is the Roman god of opening and closing of doors, of looking into the past and looking into the future. And all of your New Year's resolutions and all of your things that you're going to do great and on January 1st, and the traditions of the clock striking midnight, all of that is associated with the worship of this God. And as the children of the Lord, we should not partake in it at all. With that, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And in the year 2025, going into the year 2026, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. With that, I'm going to go ahead and salute y'all out. You know what I'm saying? Sister Kapatazah, Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Tabashim, Yahweh Shah.
Sir.
All the brothers out there, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah. Now, I'm about to end this live, but I'm going to hop on stream with the captains on Commander General Yohana page. So if y'all not done for the night, go to Commander General Yohana page. It's a captain's class we do on Wednesday nights. Captain Kahan, Captain Nayathot, Captain Kapash, Captain Kahantham Yard, and some of the brothers down there in the DC zone. So y'all come over there with us, man. Lord allow. And if not,